my definition of change, what we're going to talk about, I know that was a little cheeky little experiment, but it drives home the point on what it feels like. But my definition of change is this. Okay, so if this is business performance on this axis, and this is time, what change you want, especially continuous improvement professionals want, is to move from point A, safely move from point A to point B. Where this is a higher level of business performance than there, right? But you want to go there from here to there, right? Straight. Sorry guys, it doesn't work that way, as you just felt. What happens is called the Valley of Despair, and that's what this little thing is, VOD. It's Valley of Despair. And what happens is, you're basically uninformed at first, but as you learn about the change, you drop down like this. And what's happening is, and you felt it, right? I mean, you felt it right away. Some of you guys argued with me. Some of you guys had a pen that didn't even write anything down. Right? Because you rejected it. You didn't want the change. You knew it was bad change. So that's why you didn't do it. But you go into this thing called shock, denial, right? These are the phases of grief. And all humans feel this feeling of, what is denial? Really, it's a bandage, right? It's a shock absorber for the soul. What we need is midwives for grief. Because as you drop down into this valley of despair, you end up in this area where you really are in a lot of pain, right? I mean, it's like a death of a family member, right? It's down here, and it's called chaos. Now, Harrison Owen calls it open space. It's right in between awfulness and awesomeness. It's that verge of the greatest learning. When we learn the most, we also experience this mixed emotion state. It's like all the paradigms that we were ever taught, we had to throw out. And that's what happens in this valley down here below. And you've got to let people get through these emotions and process them before they can come out the other side. And on the other side of this equation is when you start getting this, where people start accepting it and experimenting. And where you cross this chasm is very interesting. It is when you start moving from despair, where you're in such pain, and it's self-inflicted pain, to acceptance, is when you say this thing, I wonder if. I wonder if. And that's right when you made that transition across that open space. And that's when you can start writing up this. Is it perfectly linear? No. You didn't go from here to there. Right? You had to take a dip. But I have a question for you. If this was an improvement, let's say, okay, you had to switch hands. You broke your arm. Do you think you would get better at it eventually? Okay. So that's part of that midwife for grief that I was talking about earlier. So you will get better eventually. So how did it feel? Did you guys feel this a little bit at the bottom? Mm-hmm. When I told you to switch hands, did you know it was going to be as painful as it was? Oh, yeah. You knew. You hated it, right?
Yes.
I know. But eventually you would get better at it. What would happen with your quality eventually over time? It would improve, right? What happens if you had no arms? What would you do to write your name? Because that's what I was going to do to somebody that said they did this before. They had to use their feet. You had to take off your shoe and use your toes. That would have been awesome. I was thinking of you, Michael.